Hello and welcome. It's Charles Fockaert on March 13, 2018. I welcome all of you, and it's good to be here. Got some warm sunshine outside. It's not too late. I thought I'd put together a video of what I've been working on the last few hours this morning, and I want to talk about the sun. The sun is close. The sun is close. They just came out, the quote scientists just came out and said that the moon is actually inside the atmosphere of the Earth, and so they're moving the Earth a little closer. Or actually, they still maintain the Earth is 238,000 miles away, but now the atmosphere goes all the way out. That's halfway. Our atmosphere goes out for a 500,000 miles or so. I haven't looked into it, and they haven't really done an update, but that's what they came out and said. They've changed their view on the moon and where it is, and they're going to do that with the sun, folks. The sun is more obvious, and I wanted to show you this little Britannica. That's the company, that's the corporation, that's the propaganda machine that they are putting on the bottom. I went this morning on a video on photos of the machines they put inside the big jets when they do the geoengineering. And right below the video was a link to a Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica article about contrails. This up here, the real pictures, the evidence is not real, is fake, is a conspiracy. But here's the truth in these books. And by the way, I only paid $0.25 for this because it's not worth much more than that. Picture this morning of the sunrise, and we're going to get to that. I took some pictures of the sunrise, and we're going to get to that in a minute because this video is on the sun is close, and I'm going to show you the evidence that little old me, with a camera and some software, is able to convince myself that the sun is close, and we'll get to that in a minute. So this is the interesting, see, this is how we're brainwashed, folks. I'm sure I've seen this book in the past, or one like it in the libraries, and we're going to go to other worlds, they promise us. And this was an interesting heading here, from fiction to reality. And then they have three men down here, Oberth, Robert Goddard, and Werner von Braun. They forgot to put in there Walt Disney and Stanley Kubrick, and then Spielberg. They don't mention them. So this is stuff that I grew up with. This is in the late 50s, early 1960s. And I learned pretty early on at the college, and I learned from Dr. Stuart Crane. He used to teach at Bob Jones University before it went 501c3. And I learned from him not to accept what we're told at face value, but to investigate. So I went into the Humboldt State University Library, and I looked up information on Sputnik, and guess what? They had a picture of a Russian cosmonaut on his knee on the ground, and they had a picture of a rocket laying on the ground, folks, laying on the ground behind him, and that was supposed to be evidence or evidence or support of the fact that they went to outer space. So I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, but that was fake news, folks, back there in 1973, 74. I'm going to get on to my pictures here in a minute, my images, but I wanted to show you. So you're a kid, you open up this book, you turn to the page on the sun, and they tell you it's 93 million miles away. That's what I've heard all my life. And then they want you to believe that they actually know what's going on inside of here, even though it's 93 million miles away, that they got the light, they can analyze the light, and they can tell it's hydrogen, and helium, etc., blah, 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 blah. But I can tell they're not telling the truth. And the reason I can tell they're not telling the truth is because I can go outside myself and I can take photos and I can analyze those photos. And then I can tell that just by simple geometry that the sun is not 93 million miles away. So let's go have a look at those images, shall we? Picture of the image I took this morning right outside of Baus, Arizona. And as you can see, the sun's rays are coming out at these different angles here. I took the photo, I took the image into a free, a simple image manipulator, if you will, called paint.net. And so I added these arrows to give you a better visual of those rays. There's the image without the rays, the arrows and the lines, and there's the image with the rays. Sun don't look 93 million miles away to me, because if it was, those rays wouldn't be coming out like this. They'd be coming like this, parallel, because they're so far, the sun would be so far away, there wouldn't be any angle to the rays. I mean, come on. I mean, it's that simple, folks. I mean, it's really like curvature. This is very simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to have a degree in astrophysics to see that the geometry there, if we were to figure it out, shows the sun, and you could do the same thing for the moon, are very close. I did some math here. I'm just thinking about it. I did some math a while back. It's in one of my notebooks, and I'll go get it. As I was trying to estimate how far the firmament is above us, and I took the highest flights that are known that they admit to, etc., with experimental jets, etc. So, but I don't want to go into that right now, because I want to stick just with these images and the evidence that we have. See, we all have the same evidence. We're all looking at the same sun, but some people are saying you see it differently from different sides than we are. And by the way, Crow 7 came out, and he's got pictures there, images that he took using camera filters and ultraviolet and all that stuff. I'm not up on all that. I don't need to be, because he is, and he shows it. There's two aspects to the sun. He calls it a binary sun. And I don't want to get into that right now, but we're starting to investigate. We're starting to do real investigations. This is the stuff that we should have learned while we were in school, and instead of this male cow dung here, right, folks? So let's go have a look at the other photo, the same photo, but I just worked with it a little bit in the software program. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? So here's the original image again. Here's that image again in sepia, and you can see the rays of the sun here and here and here and there. I took the sepia and I inverted the colors. So again, you can see the rays here and here and here. And this one, it shows you all the way out here. You can see the rays of the sun in the sepia with inverted colors. I did the same thing again. I just inverted the colors, and you can see there again all the rays of the sun. And again, I did a hue and saturation adjustment, and this one comes out pretty obvious. I'll end up with a good old black and white. Alrighty, let's look at the Word of God. And Yahweh said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And God, Yahweh, set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And God saw, and Yahweh saw that it was good. Please notice that Yahweh made two great lights, not a light and a reflector. Did you notice the scientists, the quote high priests of scientists, they don't talk about electromagnetic operation of the sun and the moon, along with the Antarctica, which is on the outside, that ice on the outside of the oceans. And they don't talk about the salt in the water. See, a lot of people, and I'm inclined to believe, that in conjunction with the North Pole, that the whole solar system, our whole Earth ecosystem is run and powered by electromagnetic energy. And the sun, some people surmise the sun is, and like the moon is like a battery, and the sun will charge the battery, and that's where we get the light. It's actually a light itself, but it needs to be charged. I don't know. But see, these are the things that we get to investigate and we get to look into, and it's encouraging to see that a lot of people are doing just that. Back to that evidence thing in a minute. See, we all look at the same evidence. Everybody's going to look at that same picture that we're all looking at, and they're going to see the same angles that we are. So you can't prove anything to anybody. See, that's not proof. Those images are not proof. They're evidence. And some people just refuse to accept the evidence. And that's why you can have a hung jury. And that's why there's so much disagreement in the world today, because some people would prefer the fiction to reality. And you know, this from fiction to reality meme here, this whole thing here, it fits in with what I've been saying for years, that the people of the United States, especially of the United States, they have this conception of the world around them, which is no more than fiction. It's an illusion, and they can't handle it now. Their whole illusionary world is falling down around them, and they're doing everything they can. Well, don't listen to people that talk about 9/11. Don't listen to those conspiracy theories about the flat Earth. Don't listen to that fake information about vaccines. It's out of control, and they're trying as best they can to keep the lid on everything, but guess what? It's not working. I'm going to end up with this, you know, folks. If this whole level plane, flat Earth, geocentric model was just a bunch of hooey, and it's conspiracy theory, just unbelievable why you would even think about it. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd. You know, nobody in their right mind would believe. Then why are they doing so much to prevent the information from getting out? Why are they so concerned about it? Why are they now? They're starting to label a flat Earth thinking as what? Dangerous. They're dangerous because they don't think like we want them to think. They're thinking the way they're coming to conclusions on their own based on what they see in reality. And we can't have that now, can we? They've got to continue to believing in Walt Disney World and SpaceX and NASA. And we need our $22 billion a year budget. So they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep this all under control. But it's not going to work, folks. It's not. Something else is going to come out. It's going to be so obvious that these people are going to they're going to freak, because they're going to have to admit that everything that you learned and everything they taught you. Wait till the lawsuits, the class action lawsuits against some of these universities for their degrees in astrophysics and astronomy and all the rest of it, folks. This is going to be very entertaining. I do want to thank you for watching. Thank you for your support of this channel. Special thanks to Mike there. And may the grace of God our Father, may His grace be upon us as we seek to obey Him and as we learn more about His world, His creation, His level plane, electromagnetic powered ecosystem. I'm at a loss for words because, you know, I don't want to say solar system. I don't want to say, you know, we've been brainwashed so much, that stuff. I got to get in there and clean it all out. But may Yahweh, the God of the level plane, earth, with the close sun and moon, may His grace be upon us all, for we most certainly need it as we work ourselves through this delusion. See ya.
Everyday people see you as a freaking quack, freaking quack, freaking quack.